G'day, welcome to Star Portraits, where we invite three professional artists to come together to paint a celebrity. The celebrity doesn't see the paintings until the very end of the program, when he or she gets to choose a favourite to keep. We're at Mottisfont Abbey near Romsey in Hampshire. It has a lovely garden and is a favourite spot for today's celebrity, who's a bit of a dab hand in the garden herself. Today's sitter is a force to be reckoned with. She's a horticulturist and one of Britain's best-known TV gardeners. She is, of course, Charlie Dimmock. How are you?
Good.
Have you any thoughts about what sort of portraits you might be getting today?
Not really. I don't think I want one that's like a sort of photograph, more of an impression or movement in it, because I don't stay still.
Anything you don't want them to paint?
I don't like my nose. It's got a big bump on it.
But it's you see. Now, if I were painting you, that's what I'd go for, would be these lovely,
dimples! I didn't even know I had dimples.
The smile lines.
It's not a sexy look, dimples.
Oh, you're kidding. And the hair, it's almost pre-Raphaelite.
The hair, yeah, most people comment on my hair, but I'd also be interested to see how they paint my eyes, because a lot of people say they're green.
I would have said greenish, yeah.
No?
Blue.
Blue.
Are they?
Wishy-washy blue.
To paint Charlie, I've chosen three very different artists with quite different approaches. Alfred Daniels studied at the Royal College of Art and started his career by painting murals. He's developed a unique style which he describes as primitive and decorative. Alfred lives and works in West London. Wei Li Zhu grew up in Shanghai, where her father taught her to draw at the age of 4. She later studied art in China and now teaches in Aberdeen. Wei Li likes her subjects to be looking away from her. Martin Baldwin studied illustration before following his passion for portraiture. He admits that he spent a lot of time at school drawing his mates when he should have been studying. Martin really gets into the texture of the oil paint, which he applies generously to the canvas. Time for our painters to meet the sitter, and none of them knows who it is they're about to paint. Well, we've gathered everybody here in the morning room at Mottisfont. It's a lovely room, great pictures everywhere you look, but I have a sort of a feeling that our sitter would be much more at home and more at ease out in the garden. Do you have any idea who it might be?
Could be Alan Titchmarsh. That's about the only one I know, actually.
Can be anybody.
Could be Joe Swift.
What do you reckon?
Yes.
Do you want me to bring in our sitter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay. Right, here we go.
It is, of course, gardener Charlie Dimmock.
Oh, I've been telling us porkies.
Oh, not fair.
Sorry, my
Pleased to
hands
meet
are
you.
all sweaty.
Well, mine are all freezing cold.
I'm really nervous.
You're nervous.
I'm very nervous,
Brilliant. Oh, this is going to be good.
Ever been sitting for a portrait before?
No, and that's why I'm really nervous. Do I have to sit really still?
No, that's one of your characteristics.
It
You're full of
is.
life, aren't you?
Well, and giggle a lot, and that's what I don't like about watching myself on TV. I giggle. And it sounds terrible.
That's lovely. 'Cause I'm gonna get that
Dimmock dimples.
Oh, stop it.
No,
I'm getting
that's-
really embarrassed now.
No, that's one of your key points.
You don't accentuate the worst things, do you?
There's no worse things.
No,
is there?
no, no.
Absolutely.
Up on my nose.
What a
There we
gentleman.
go. There we go.
Shall we do it? Shall we sit this young lady down?
Yeah.
Just
You relax.
Just sit comfortably. Just basically how you would sit. Don't sort of
Like
pose.
in the
Just
middle of this room with 4 people staring at me.
yeah, no one watching you at all.
I love this moment. 3 blank canvases, 3 completely different artists. Can't wait to see those first marks. You happy?
I think so.
Let's get on with it. Charlie won't be allowed to see any of the paintings until they're completely finished. Wei Li's using a brown wash to tone down the white of the canvas. She starts off sketching in charcoal. Before Martin and Alfred commit to canvas, they get to know Charlie's features more precisely by making a whole load of sketches.
The artists have got just 5 hours at this sitting to capture Charlie on their canvases, and then an extra 2 weeks back in their own studios to finish the paintings.
Did you ever study art when you were at school?
I did up to O-level. That ages me, doesn't it? I did O-level, so I did O-level art. I got B.
Oh, very good.
My art teacher said, must use more colour. I was very much pencil and charcoal. It's strange having you all make eye contact, which I'm surprised about. Because when we do photo shoots, they were just like interested in your clothes, the way you're standing, and it's quite disconcerting when people don't make
Drawing's not about learning to draw, it's learning to see.
Right.
So that's why we're all looking at the subject, you, rather than what we're drawing down here.
So you just let your hand
Well, hopefully just, learning about how you're put together and what makes your character.
This is frightening.
Yeah, so now you're really scared about us looking at you.
It's worse than having a friend that's a psychologist.
We're doing a forensic study of you.
It's very recognisable already, isn't it, as Charlie? You said you loved to do the noses.
Yes.
Why?
That's my thing. I like, painting the sitter or the person's nose. And say, for example, Charlie's nose, she got really nice and neat and point in the end, the nose.
Yeah.
I thought that's really nice. So I'm going to enjoy painting her nose again. When I'm doing portrait, I try to not let the person look direct at myself. I feel it's too direct. I like a bit subtle. I like to look away. So people look at the painting, they have more things to think about.
Whaley tells me she's been influenced by artists of the Italian Renaissance. She likes to use arches and windows to create backdrops for her sitters.
I would say it's a realistic style. I love doing portraits. Any interesting face, the personality, and sometimes eyes will particularly capture you. You also discover the person, make the person become unique.
So, can Whaley capture Charlie's unique qualities?
What's it like sitting there? Can you cope with all these people staring at you?
It's not as frightening as I thought, actually. They're quite smiley. If you catch their eye, they do smile back, so it's quite all right.
Got to be careful here, I'm making you look flat-chested.
I heard that.
Knowing that Alfred likes to include a sitter's pet in his paintings, I asked Charlie to bring some photos of her dog, Teddy.
Do you always approach a portrait this way, doing sketches first?
Oh, absolutely. And the most important thing after doing lots of drawings, what I'm trying to do now is get the whole sequence of the design of the thing.
Yeah.
So it makes a picture, not just a portrait, but a picture as well.
Mm.
So that you can look at it from more than one angle.
And you're going to fit Charlie's pet in there somewhere?
Putting Teddy in will be an absolute marvellous, you see.
As long as he's not prettier than me.
Animals always look prettier. Usually, when I do a portrait, I do lots of drawings, and eventually I put it all together to make up a complete portrait of the person, which includes all the movements, animation, smiles. So really, a portrait to me is telling a story.
Alfred's work belongs to a tradition of naive or primitive art. His paintings remind me of the work of early American folk artists, like this 19th century portrait of a little girl.
It's a wonderful way of occupying your time, your energies and your vision. And not only that, you're appealing to something very basic inside. You're perfectly in tune with yourself. And that's probably one of the reasons why you don't feel time passing.
Well, time is certainly passing back at the sitting. We're a couple of hours in and Martin is finally getting to apply some paint.
I like the stuff of paint. I mean, it's exciting, it's textural. I like to carve with the paint, sculpt with the paint. That's why I love portraiture, is because you're trying to carve out the form which gives the personality.
Martin's paintings bring to mind the work of Frank Auerbach, a German artist who was born in the 30s and settled in Britain. Like Auerbach, Martin uses oil paint in a wonderfully sculptural way.
It's like a puzzle. Try and find which elements of that person's character are hidden in which part of the head or their figure, and you've got to unlock this puzzle.
Gosh, a lot happening here.
Yeah, it's a relief to actually get some marks on here. What I'm trying to do at the moment is work with these dynamics here. This vertical coming up here, there's a vertical coming up from the cheek up through the temple there.
When Charlie's head is on that side.
Yeah, and there's a few others. I think it's going to work with the nose as well.
I love the curve of the shoulders going across behind.
So there's a gorgeous bit of hair here coming down. Oh, it's just really good.
Rolf, it's no good grimacing like that.
I'm not grimacing. What I'm doing is I'm half closing my eyes so that I get rid of all extraneous detail and see the overall impression. And it's a pity you can't see this. It's just wonderful.
It's really irritating being sat here, actually. Have you ever had your portrait done?
Yeah, once or twice. I'm awful as a sitter because I keep wanting, you know, when I see it, if they let me see it half finished, I want them to leave it there. I say, don't do any more, that's great. You know, don't refine it, don't make it like a photo, you know, that's... But quite often they go on and on and on and destroy all the life that was there and try and get it too fiddly and fussy, and you want to shake them and then you wish they hadn't done it. Alfred's only just started to put paint to canvas, so it's too early to guess which portrait Charlie may choose. However, we're halfway through the sitting and we need to give Charlie a break. And I'm keen to see what the artists think of it all.
How are you enjoying the experience?
Very much.
Very much.
Yeah. She's a very lively person.
Yeah.
Absolutely delightful to work from.
Absolutely.
Very difficult to capture within the short time we've had.
Yeah.
She's calm inside, but there's so much energy waiting to explode.
Yeah, lovely spark in the eyes.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
So you've got to try and catch between the two,
Do you feel there's any sense of competition between the three of you?
Not really.
No.
I find it's a kind of learning process for me. I learn from other two artists. And I just sometimes look at like Martin and Alfred. I say, oh, really nice. You never stop learning, you know.
All learning from one another?
Yes,
absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I'll go and see how Charlie's feeling about the experience. See you later.
Cheers.
Well, they all seem very happy to be here.
They do. This is one of my favourite gardens.
What is it about Mottersfont that draws you back here all the time?
It's really peaceful to walk around and there's lots to see. I mean, the main thing for me is the river. It's so tranquil and there's lots of beautiful, huge trees.
Yeah, that big
just
one.
amble along.
How was that experience in there for you, with them all staring at you?
It wasn't as frightening as I thought it was going to be. They were actually much chattier as well. They were a lot more... I expected to be really, really quiet like that and lots of concentration, but there were lots more messing around and talking and chat.
How did you get to be a gardener?
Just something I fell into, really. My family gardens a lot. My grandfather was a gardener. But I started working at the garden centre as a Saturday job and I just got more and more involved into it and wanted to know more about it.
Where did you actually live when you were doing that?
I lived on site at the garden centre, but when I first sort of moved down there, I lived in the barn at the top of the fields. And rather than go all the way down to the house to have a bath and that, I used to bathe in the river. It was a bit chilly some mornings, but very nice. And you got all this beautiful countryside around you, the meadows. I was very much, and I still am very much, a tomboy.
I was just going to say, what were you like as a kid?
Oh, just always muddy and dirty and in wellies and getting stuck in bogs and out on bike rides. Gardening's very satisfying because, unlike paperwork, you can see where you've been. Everyone says, oh, gardening's so slow, plants grow so slowly. Yes, initially, but then suddenly once they're there and they've been there a couple of years, you semi-forget about them and like 3 years later you suddenly, God, look at this.
Woof.
Whoa,
Yeah,
like,
woof.
yeah. I mean, is painting like that? When you're doing a painting, do you fiddle around and then suddenly it's...
Yeah, I guess it is. You start with your groundwork, which in my case is a very blurry sort of thing, and then you refine it and things get added and... Yeah, I guess you could say
just
that.
all comes together.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's a bit like gardening too.
Yeah. OK, shall we get back in there and do some more painting?
I reckon.
The artists are all making progress in different directions. After today's sitting, they'll have to continue their portraits in their own studios, working from photographs.
Martin, are there any pictures you've done that you've been really pleased with them when you've done them and seen them 6, 7 years later and thought, that's terrible?
Most of them. Because you do think, oh, I would have done that mark differently or something like that. So it's a growing process, sometimes with growing pains, but there you go.
How's it going?
Not too well. I've got to transfer this very nice design to the canvas, and everything's going wrong, as you can see. I tried putting the dog in, and it caused me no end of trouble, so I just wiped him out. So I've got to put him back again. And that's the nice thing about using oil paint.
You can take it out with
take it while it's wet, you can take it out with turps and start again. Painting is all about making mistakes.
And then fixing them up.
That's right.
I don't know whether having your portrait done is something quite vain about it. Do you not think?
I suppose it is, yeah. You want to look your best, don't you? You certainly want to look your best.
And I wonder, the one that I choose, whether I'll choose one that's the way I perceive myself or the way that people perceive me.
Yeah.
It's all very exciting.
What's your basic technique on this?
I try to catch the likeness and the colour, and especially her skin colour, which is very, very subtle, very sensitive.
Lovely little darkness under that lip, look.
Thank you.
Well, the 5 hours are nearly up. The artists are doing the finishing touches for today's work, and over the next 2 weeks they'll be working from photographs and from their memories to try and get their portrait finished. I can't wait. Okay, that's it. Whaley, Martin, Alfred, brushes down, please. Chance to get your cameras and take a few final shots of Charlie. It's been a week since the artist painted Charlie at Mottersfont, and I'm really keen to see how they're getting on. So we've got Alfred and Whaley to come down here to the Harrow Arts Centre where Martin teaches. Let's go and see how close they are to finishing, because it's only 1 week to go before Charlie sees the 3 portraits. Hey, now this, you had the dog the other side, didn't you?
Yeah, well, everything about this first sketch went wrong. So I started again, I redrew everything and started to use my memory and the interest we had that day when I was doing this terrible beginning.
I love the way that the triangle creates from the apex of the head down to the dog and across to that side. That's lovely composition, lovely stability.
I like putting animals into portraits particularly because it diverts the attention if it doesn't look very much like the sitter.
What do you think Charlie would want a portrait to say about her?
If you worry about what the sitter thinks, you'll never get to grips with what you should be doing. They should sit still. Unfortunately, she didn't.
Well, I can't wait for the day and see which one Charlie chooses.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, all I can say is that this is one of the best paintings I've done to date, and that pleases me enormously.
That's good.
It's been a challenge right from the word go.
Pleased with the progress?
Yes, I'm pleased so far, and a lot of work to do. Still, you know, a lot of things here, there.
Are you going to do anything else in the sky?
Yes, I might change it a little bit warmer or a bit cooler. So I feel a bit space, you know, leading your eyes go through the window.
What did you think were the distinguishing features of Charlie's face?
Oh, well, I felt when Charlie walked in the room, I felt she got really nice color skin and this reddish golden hair. And with the light on, and I felt a whole room, it just feel like a whole warm golden color. You know, I just try to catch this feeling, you know, and I try to create my painting with this warmth, and I just enjoy painting there and just enjoy every minute.
Still sopping wet?
Yeah.
Are you pleased with your progress?
Some days I'm pleased with it, some days I'm not.
You've produced 3 paintings from the one sitting. Where do you go from here?
Well, I like to work on more than one canvas because I'm transferring ideas between the canvases.
Yeah.
I'll take the piece that I feel that works and I'll transfer that back onto another one of the canvases that I'm working on.
So this is not going to be the finished one?
It might be eventually. But it could be any one of these.
It has a lovely coquettish sort of a look, looking sideways.
It's provocative, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes, that little provocative little glint in her eye.
Whose painting do you think she will choose?
Whaley.
You think?
Yeah, definitely. It's classic. It's got that lovely, serene quality about it. I mean, this you could use the burger alarm maybe, but... But no, it's quite in your face, this.
It certainly is.
And I think I'm going for the more energetic side of her personality, so that is really what I'm trying to get into the picture.
Another week has passed and we've come to the 5 Arrows Gallery at Exbury Gardens, near Charlie's home in Hampshire. It's the day of reckoning. We're going to show Charlie the 3 portraits. Martin's, Alfred's and Whaley's paintings have all developed so differently. I wonder which one she'll choose. Will Charlie prefer Whaley's serene painting? Perhaps she'll be taken by Alfred's primitive style. Or will she be won over by Martin's intense portrait? Well, Charlie will be along in a minute, but in the meantime, how's the project been for you?
Oh, what a challenge.
Yes?
Seriously scary. I mean, it's been a real adrenaline rush. I mean... But, you know, I can feel it pumping through my...
How scary is that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was pumping away this morning at 7 o'clock when I was putting the last touches on.
You're kidding.
In the dark.
Oh, it's difficult, and I've been working day and night, and before I go to bed, I look at the painting, think, remember what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I get up morning, first thing, say hello to Charlie.
Well, I'm going to reveal the portraits to Charlie now, see what she thinks. So if I can ask you just to leave the room in preparation for that. Well, I can't wait to show these 3 paintings to you. What are you feeling about it?
Very nervous.
Really?
Yeah. You just don't know. When you do photographs, people will look at you and it's a quick snap, but they've might have seen something that you're not in control of.
Well, do you want to see them?
I suppose so.
Right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hup.
Wow. Gosh, she's very elegant. That's not me.
You don't
I
see
never
yourself as
perceive
elegant?
myself as elegant, no. The eyes are very bright.
Very good, the eyes.
Yeah.
Very you.
Yeah. The eyes are me and the hair's me. I'm glad I'm not really, really smiley. Because every photo I see of me's got that. Wow, I didn't expect to see a picture like that. Is that Whaley? Or can't you tell me?
I'll tell you later. Want to see the next one?
Yeah, good. I'm into this now.
Okay.
Now I know who that is because of Teddy. I look a bit severe. I look a bit cross. See, now I thought they'd all paint me smiling. I look like I'm concentrating. They are very different, aren't they?
Oh, sure.
Just totally different.
3
This
totally
looks very
different
modern
pictures.
to me. Do you think it's abstract modern? See, I don't know. See, I'm a gardener. I don't do art very well.
Yeah. You see, I hate putting labels on paintings.
Oh, do you?
He's got that sort of lopsidedness that every one of us has in a smile. You know,
I'm glad you said every one of us.
No, we all do.
Do we?
Yeah, I see. I smile up that way, like that. And you smile off to the left a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, but it's so difficult already. Well, there's only 2.
Ready for the next one?
Go on then.
Here we go.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Just wow, there's so much going on with that one. The colours are so vibrant. The eyes seem to be the key on them all.
Eyes are the thing that gives a portrait life. If the eyes work, then you're almost there. You know?
They work on all 3, and the hair looks like you could touch it. I like that one because it's got a cheeky...
Yeah, like a bit of a sarcastic...
Yeah, all right then.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever you say. I want to like this one because it's a bit different, but I don't think I appreciate it as much as I should.
Okay, I'll leave you to have some time to yourself and think about it. We'll come back to you. Time for Charlie to make her decision. Right, artists, if you'll stand by your paintings.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I don't know who's more nervous, you or...
Have you found anything out about yourself looking at the 3 portraits?
Martin's looks at me. It's also like I'm thinking about something and I'm just about to give you a bit of back chat.
Yeah.
Which is very me. Alfred's painting looks like me being very thoughtful, and I also like the way that he's incorporated Teddy in it, and it makes me very fond of the picture. I like it because of what's in it and the gardens there, because that's the only one that is the depiction of Mottersfont Abbey. Whaley's painting is beautiful and it looks just like me, and I'm like in a dream state. Glint in the eye, and I'm somewhere else. It is me. It is very difficult to choose because they're all bits of me.
You've got to decide which set of eyes you're going to choose.
Pull it off.
Right, that's it. Tell us which painting you are going to choose to hang in your home.
I think the one I'm going to choose is Martin's.
Wow.
There's something about Martin's, there's a bit of a glint in the eye, and it makes me want to look at it, and it looks like I'm just about to say something a bit naughty and a bit giggly, which is very me.
Congratulations, Martin.
Well, thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Martin, you owe me a £5.
Oh, God, it's cost me money.
Well done, Martin.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad Charlie's found a portrait that she likes and feels she can live with. I don't think it was an easy choice. Each painting showed a completely different side of her personality. So, Charlie gets to take home Martin's painting. The other 2 will later go on public display. Which one would you have chosen?
I'm still really enjoy painting Charlie, and she's such a great fun to work with, you know.
I was concentrating too much on building a picture as I remembered it, and less on trying to get the personality of the sitter.
I always saw the kind of fun side in her, so I mean that's what I went for, and I had to go for it. And I'm glad that she liked it, so I'm really, really pleased.